Good morning, sir.
Yes, good morning. Good morning to all. Prasad, is it okay? Okay. So today topic is common source stores with current source load. Earlier, we have studied common source stays with the RD resistance as the load. Second one is common source with the diode connected load. Now the third one is common source with the current source load. So as we know the drawback of each and everything like RD, the value of resistance, so need to be increased for getting the more gain. But the value of resistor, if you want to increase, the size of the resistance should be increased. That makes the area occupation on silicon area will becomes more. And moreover, the resistance fabrication is a little bit complex. And later diode connected. But due to the diode connected, what is the issue is only one thing, that is the which limits the voltage swings at the output. Okay. So now my question is to get larger voltage gain with a single stage CS amplifier. Okay. RD load equation. This is my equation. Generally, either in the common source with RD or RD, this is the gain equation. AV is equal to minus GM into RT. AV is equal to minus GM into RT. See, here is in this equation, so RD is the that means load resistance, explicitly connected, and GM is the transconductance. Okay, so if you want to increase this gain, so definitely this should be increased. RD should be increased. GM should be increased. Okay, increasing the load impedance of CS states in a resistor or diode connected load, increasing the load resistance, which translates to a large DC drop across the load. Consequently, limits the output voltage. So in both the cases, if you want to increase the gain, so only we have seen this parameter. If you see this parameter, in this parameter, if RD is increases, what is the problem? Whenever the RD is increases, because in the circuit, this is the load. Whenever this RD values increases, I told you number of times, so the drop across this resistor is increases. So whenever the drop across this person is increases, your output voltage, which you are collecting at the output node V out, will decrease. This is called this is known as what? Voltage swing. That means limiting the voltage swing. So this is the issue. The major issue in the either current source amplifiers, that means CS amplifier, stays with what is it one? RD or diode connected load. The main issue is to increase the gain from that equation. What I am showing, RD should be, that means resistance should be increases. Whenever the resistance is increases, if you remember the circuit, the drop across the resistance will be increases. As the drop across RD increases, see, this is the VDD, okay, this is the output. Output is always equal to the VDD minus the drop across this fellow. If the drop across this fellow is increases, the output definitely decreases. So this is called the voltage limiting. We should not, the voltage swing is limiting. So this is the major hurdle of the two circuits which we studied. What is the alternate that we want to see now? Okay. See, hence the loads should be replaced with the device. the load should be replaced with the device which does not depends on the Ohm's law. The solution is current source. What I'm saying? So which does not depends on the Ohm's law. Yeah. What is the Ohm's law? As per the Ohm's law, so whenever the current through the resistor increases, the voltage drop will be increases. So we must be replaced that RD or diode correction device should be replaced with the one source. Here the solution is current source. If you replace the load with either RD or diode connected load with the current source, then you may be get something benefit than the others. So what is the scenario? We'll see now. This is the current source, CS with the current source load. Here is, this is the NMOS transistor. So whenever you keep this NMOS transistor in the saturation by applying suitable VB, so then keep this in the saturation mode, then this device, entire device is acting as a one current source, which flows the constant current, which flows the stable amount of the current. So what is the remedy? So I need to replace a load with a PMOS transistor for that gate is applied a fixed voltage, the amount of the gate voltage in such a way that the device should be keep in the saturation. When a device either NMOS or PMOS, so in the saturation, it works as a constant current source, so that simply I can remove this device, I can use this current source here. Okay, so this device, when you are keeping it in saturation, then it is looking like a what? This one. I hope you understand. This is the remedy. We'll see how it is, how it will work. Okay. Recall that the PMOS MOSFET can be used as a current source from VDD. Okay. So now I can draw this circuit simply one. Yes, current source is connected to the NMOS transistor like this. So the V in, and you can connect the V out here. So this is the simple circuit. Okay. Okay. So the next one is the equivalent circuit of this circuit is the equivalent circuit, the small signal analysis for that. See, for this is the NMOS transistor, keep as it is. For this NMOS transistor, keep as it is. Yes. For this NMOS transistor, yeah, this is NMOS transistor. Generally, this NMOS transistor, when it is off, this offer the resistance of R01. You can replace this device with this resistance also, no problem. And for this PMOS device, you can draw like this is the equivalent circuit. So because that is a M2 device, there is a GM2 into V1, and whose resistance is output resistance is R02. Okay. So I hope you understand why we are keeping this one here, because this is acting as a current source. There is no question of the voltage limiting. Okay, we'll see. Use PMOS device as the load of the NMOS CS amplifier is nothing but the common source stays with the current source load. What benefits we'll get, we'll see here. So whenever M1, M2 are in saturation, both are in saturation, the total impedance at the output node is equal to this one. What is our total output impedance? This is the R0. Whenever both are in the saturation, so each of the person is represented with the R01 and R02. R01 for the M1 device, R02 for the PMOS device. Then R0 is equal to, that means equivalent resistance is equal to parallel combination of the both. Then in the equation, gain equation, AV is equal to minus GM into RD. In place of RD, you can write this R01 is parallel with the R02. So the output impedance and the minimum VDS required for M2 are less strongly coupled than the value and voltage drop of a resistor. So remember these statements, read once again. The output impedance and the VDS required for M2 are less strongly coupled than the value and voltage drop of resistor. So earlier we have two circuits. One is the common source with the RD load, and one more is the common source stays with the diode connected load. In both the cases, whatever the voltage appear across the load value, okay, so is more compared to this fellow. That means common source CS stays with the current source load. Okay, remember this one, whatever the output voltage and the minimum voltage which appears between the drain and source of the device at the M2 level is less compared to the earlier voltage. Therefore, whenever the voltage drop across the load is small, then definitely output value will be more than the earlier. So this is the condition. VDS2 minimum is equal to VGS2 minus VTH2. What is the VDS? This is talking about the PMOS device. PMOS device. There we can use the PMOS device as the pull-up device. Okay. So VDS2 minimum is equal to VGS2 minus VTH2. Okay. So value can be, so this value, what is that value? This VDS2 minimum value can be, you can keep it below 100 millivolts, by properly choosing or increasing the what width of the PMOS device, W2. What is the W2? Width of the PMOS device. So how can you keep the minimum voltage across the drain to source of the device? So the thing is what mod VDS is equal to, so VGS2 minus VTH2. So which can keep less than the 100 millivolts by increasing the W2 value. So if R02 is not enough high, what is R02? R02 is nothing but the resistance of the second device, PMOS device. Okay, so enough high, then what happened? L2 and W2 are increased to achieve a small lambda while maintaining the same overdrive voltage. If R0 is not enough to high, okay. So whenever it is not enough to high, then what happened? So L2 and W2 means the dimensions of the width and length of the PMOS device should be increased. Whenever length and width is increases, so the lambda value is negligible. Lambda is what? Channel length modulation. Channel length modulation value. The channel length modulation coefficient is negligible because when L is increased, it becomes the long channel device. Long channel device. It's not a short channel device. So that whenever L2 and W2 are increased to achieve the small value of the channel length modulation factor lambda. So by maintaining the same overdrive voltage. What is the overdrive voltage? This is called the overdrive voltage. This is the overdrive voltage. But due to this, a large capacitance resulting at the output. So the problem of increasing the W2, that means dimensions, what happened? It leads to increase the capacitance values of that. That is one of the issue in the common source test with the current source load. As we discussed earlier, the output impedance of the MOSFET at a given ID is scaled by changing the channel length L. Okay, so the output impedance of the MOSFET at the fixed value of the ID, you can is scaled by changing the what? How can you change the output impedance? Okay, so by fixing the current ID value, so that is the channel length. If you change the L value, then definitely output impedance will be changes. Output impedance will be changes. What is the output impedance? R01 for the M1 transistor, R02 for the M2 transistor. So see, here is the two. This is the equation. This equation is two relations. There is a lambda is directly proportional to 1 by L. What is the? It's 1 by L. What is the lambda? Channel length modulation. If L is decreases, channel length modulation will increases. Okay. If L is increases, channel length modulation will decreases. Okay. So that this is the when you are scaling the L. Okay. What is the channel length modulation factor? So definitely both are inversely related to each other. And second one is, so your R0 value, that means output resistance of the device is proportional to the L by ID. L by ID. That means if the channel length is more, R0 is more. If the channel length is less, R0 is less. That is the relation. So these are the two relations. So which will, that means both channel length modulation factor as well as the output resistance dependency on the channel length. So from this, I can conclude that longer transistors yields the high voltage gain. Why you will get the high voltage gain? Because R0 is more. Whenever the R naught is more, then in this equation, AV is equal to minus GM into, so let us say this is the R naught. If this value is more, definitely gain is more. So that is the longer devices, that means large devices. Large device means long channel devices, definitely they will provide the higher gain. But our trend is towards the scaling of the device. We are decreasing, we are scaling down what device dimensions. So the device becomes so compact, very small. So in this scenario, what happened? Definitely L is decreases, thereby R is decreases, thereby what? Voltage gain will be decreases. So that we need to go for alternatives, how to improve the gain, even though we are scaling down, we are decreasing, we are scaling down what? Our channel length, so small. Yes, when we consider the M1, M2 separately, M1, M2 means M1 is a NMOS transistor, M2 is a PMOS transistor. If you separate both the devices, okay, if you consider both the devices separately, if L1 is scaled up by a factor of alpha, which will be greater than 1, then W1 also need to be scaled proportionally, because for given ID. So what is this means? So if you see M1 and M2 separately, let us start with the M1, the NMOS device. So whenever the NMOS device channel length is scaling up, that means L of the length of the M1 is increasing, or it is scaling by a factor of alpha. So where alpha is greater than 1. So only scaling L is not enough. So correspondingly, you should scale the W also. Okay, that is the important thing. So that is, see the relation. This is what our drive voltage. This is the our drive voltage. Our drive voltage of M1 device is proportional to the 1 by square root of what? Width to length ratio of the device 1. Okay, so whenever this factor is decreases, then whatever this factor, that's from the relation, you can understand one thing. So now if W1 is not scaled, suppose for example, as I said earlier, so whenever you are scaling L1, definitely W1 should be scaled proportionally. Suppose if you are not scaled, then our drive voltage will be increases. So which limit the output voltage once again. So this is the way not to get any output voltage swing problem. Okay, what to do? W1 and L1 of the NMOS device should be scaled proportionally. So for a fixed value of the ID, if you are not doing like that, then which will show the effect on the overdrive potential. Whenever the overdrive potential affected, then definitely at the output you will get the voltage swing problem. Moreover, GM1 is proportional to the GM1, proportional to the what? Square root of same thing. Okay, so scaling up L1 will reduce the GM. If L1 is increases, definitely GM reduces. The relation is like that. Okay, so the scaling of L1 will reduce the GM. What is the issue then? So definitely in the AV voltage gain equation, there is a minus GM into R. So whenever GM is reduces, definitely AV again the voltage gain will reduces. That is the one more issue. So when these issues are unimportant, okay, for example, this of course, if you are not considering them as big as, so then W1 is remain constant while L1 increases. Then you can keep it as you can do that like this, but they are important. Okay. So therefore, intrinsic gain of M1 is, so the gain of the M1, intrinsic gain of M1. This is the intrinsic gain of the M1. M1 gain, how much gain produced by the M1? That means AV is equal to minus GM1 into R01. Okay, is equal to square root of, you know this formula. So GM, this is the GM, this entire thing is GM, and this is the what? R0. R01. So square root of W by L of M1 device. So mu n CYX ID, that is a GM1, and R01 is 1 by lambda ID. 1 by lambda ID. So that is. So from this equation, you can understand if ID is increases, this ID is increases. What happened? Your GM1 into R01 will decrease. This will be decreased. If this increases, this will be because it is in the square root. Okay. Similarly, if L2 is increases from here, L2 is increases. Second one. So for the second device, if L2 is increases with the WT is constant. If you increase the L2 value, that means PMOS length with keeping the width constant, then R02 of the second device will increase. Thereby voltage gain will be increases. Voltage gain will be increased because there is a formula for that voltage gain is. So voltage gain AV is equal to minus GM into R01 is parallel with the R02. From this concept, suppose W2 is constant and L2 is increases. Okay, what happened? R02 will increase. Whenever the R02 is increases, definitely gain will be increases. But resulting this will give one problem. What is that? So higher VDS 2. So you will get the because of these changes. Okay, you will get the higher VDS2 minimum. This will be more. So generally your output you can write like this: V out is equal to VDD minus this fellow VDS2. You can write like this. Whenever this is more, definitely again V out will decrease. So since that to keep the M2 in the saturation, I told you, so the M2 must be in the saturation, then only it can be considered as a constant current source. So that M2 should be make it in the saturation, we need the biasing voltage. Okay, who will make the M2 in biasing saturation? So the voltage applied to the gate. So it needs more voltage. That is the one of the issue. Yes. Now, yeah, this PMOS. This is the already this circuit. You know, this is the NMOS device, the PMOS device. This must be in the saturation. Okay, and this goes along with the your input voltage because this is the input voltage. Okay, otherwise you can change this one also. Okay, what is it one here? Changes are please make these changes. Keep the changes. Earlier, this is VB. This is the Vin. So in this case, what happened? This is the M1, this is the M2. This is acting as the constant current source. And this is the device like this. Yeah. But now in this picture, I changed. What? Now the input is applied to the PMOS device and biasing is applied to the NMOS device. That means now this is the what? This is the constant current. This is acting as a constant current source like this. Okay, and this device will do the operation. Input is applied to this one, and you can collect the output here like this. This is the difference is this one. So an NMOS can be used as the load for PMOS. Yes, you can use either this or that. Okay, so earlier in the same category we have two circuits. In one circuit, one case, what happened? PMOS is acting as the load. In this category, NMOS is acting as the load. The difference is very simple. So supply the voltages reversely. So same thing, you will get the same voltage gain, same output resistance, everything will be same. Yeah. So now already we know this is the what? CS with the RD load. This is what just now we studied. That means CS with the constant current source load. So what is the difference between these two? See, this is the output voltage. Okay, this is the output voltage. You got full VDD here, but here you got so the output voltage at this node voltage at this point, then voltage is Vin minus VTH1. And if you take this one, current source load, then so the voltage will be carrying like this. At this point, the voltage is VDD minus what? So VDS2 minimum value. VDS2 minimum value. This is the overdrive voltage, or you can say this is the VDS2 minimum value. Okay. So M2 is at the edge of the saturation. This much amount will be there. And the output is, that means at this point, the voltage is Vin minus VTH1. See the difference between these two. Okay, so here is a, you got the full VDD, and here you got the, so somehow less, but here both the points are what, limited by some value. So that we are going for the another one, that is the CS with active load. Earlier we have a CS with RD, CS with RD, and CS with diode connected DC, and CS with constant or current source load. This is the three things we studied. The fourth one is CS with active load. Okay, we need the improvement from one circuit to another circuit. Okay, so this we know about this circuit. This is the CS with the constant current source. Okay, this is the, here is the NMOS is acting as the load. Okay, so in CS with current source load circuit, when gate of M2 is connected to the input signal, it is connected to the active load. That means if you join like this, these two are joined. So these two gates are joined and apply the input like this. Then you can say this is the active load. So generally this circuit is looking like, if you are doing like this, it is like a CMOS inverter. Okay, so this is the circuit. After changes, this circuit becomes like this. Okay, so what we did here, simply both the gates are tied together and input is applied to that one. Okay, this circuit is simply what, CMOS inverter. I think this is very familiar with you, inverter. Okay, so when M1 M2 are in saturation, both are in saturation, and Vn rises by delta V naught. Okay, so then two things should be identified. Whenever both the devices are on the saturation, this is on and this is on. Okay, both are in saturation. Okay, then V in rises by delta V naught. So the changes, because of something changes at this point, the corresponding changes may be delta V naught at the output node. So then you can see the two things. The first one is ID increases, ID1 increases, which will decrease the output value. How means? So ID1 means current in the this one drain first device, M1 device. Since both are on, both the currents are same. I1 and I2 both are same. So which makes some voltage drop here. Okay, and output will be going to be down. So that the current in the M1 device, if it is pulling up, then corresponding pulling down in the node voltage. And that means output voltage. M2 injects less current into the output node, allowing so Vout to drop. M2 injects less current into the output node, allowing Vout to drop. So then Vout will be dropped. These two things will improve gain directly. Of course, this one and these two, this is, and these two effects will improve the gain. So what we want, generally we want the gain improvement. So in this circuit, the gain can be improved what, in these two ways. Either first one, so whenever the ID1 increases, corresponding Vout will decrease, and second one, M2 injects less current into the output node, therefore Vout will be dropped. From the equivalent circuit, so for this equivalent circuit, if you take the equivalent circuit of this fellow, then the output equation is equal to, so this M1 device will have a gain of transconductance of GM1. This M2 device will have a transconductance of GM2. Okay, so and this M1 have a resistance of R01. This M2 have a resistance of R02. So this is the Vout is equal to formula. Then voltage gain, Vout by Vin is equal to simply minus of what? Sum of the transconductance of individual is multiplied with the what? Parallel combination of their output resistances. So when this equation compared with the previous equation, what is our previous equation? Our previous equation is AV is equal to, so minus GM into RD. So if you compare these two equations, this equation, what happened? So the GM is equal to GM1 plus GM2, and RM is equal, that means RD is nothing but same thing. Earlier also R01 and R02 is there. Earlier means what? In the diode, in the constant current source load. That means that value is R01 is parallel with R02. So if you compare these two equations, the voltage gain equations, then what happened? So the resistance of CS with active load and CS with current source load, both are same, but gain is increased. So earlier gain is only GM, but here is gain is nothing but sum of the transconductance of the two transistors. So that's why this AV, that gain of this circuit is more. Both have same output impedance, but it has high transconductance. Is called the complementary CS phase. What is the meaning of complementary CS phase? Because this is one transistor NMOS, this is one more transistor PMOS. This is connection of connecting like this is called the complementary one. So your CS with active load, you can call it as a complementary CS phase. Okay. Yes. This circuit has two issues. What are the two issues? The first one, bias current of two transistors is strong function of PVT. Bias currents of the two devices. What is the bias current? The amount of the current. So flowing into the two devices whenever what is it for input is? That is called the biasing current. Okay, so the biasing currents of M1 and M2 are strong function of PVT. What is the previous PVT? Process, voltage, temperature variations. PVT means process, P means process, voltage, and temperature. So these are the three things. So your bias currents of two transistors are strongly depends on these values. Process, voltage, that is called the PVT. Since, see this equation, VDD is equal to gate to source of M1 transistor plus gate to source of the M2 transistor. That means it is a PMOS, this is the NMOS. Okay, so VDD, your VDD is equal to, so in this circuit, if you take this circuit, okay, so your VDD is equal to, so gate to source, this is the gate to source of this one, and this is the gate to source of this one. So this is the VGS1, this is the VGS2. Variation in VDD or VTH directly translate to change in the drain currents. Either VDD changes or VTH changes, there is a corresponding changes in the drain currents. So that is the first issue. Second issue is circuit amplifies supply voltage variations. Supply voltage variations are called the supply noise. See, the small signal gain, for a small signal gain. So output V out is equal to, or V out by VDD is equal to, you can write as GM2 into R2 plus 1 by R02 plus R01 into R01. If you see this is take common R01 like that, then it becomes GM2 plus 1 by R. You can do one thing. So divide numerator and denominator with the R02. So then you can get this circuit, this equation. So what? V out by VDD is equal to GM2 plus 1 by R02. Okay, is multiplied with the R01 is parallel with the R02. What is the GM2? GM2 is the transconductance of the PMOS device. Okay, what is the R02? So PMOS device output resistance. R01 is output resistance of the NMOS device. So these are the two issues we identified in the first issue is what? The variation in VDD or VTH will directly influence the changes in the ID. The second one is, so your circuit will amplify the voltage variation, supply voltage variations. So the supply voltage variations are called the supply noise. Supply noise. These are the two things. Okay. Yeah, before we have another thing, that is the CS with triode load. Before that, how to accomplish this what is it one? Supply noise. So generally, to study the supply noise, how much noise it is tolerable, then we have a circuit So for that, so a very simple circuit you can draw like this. This is your PMOS device. This is your NMOS device. Okay. So NMOS device source is connected to the ground, and this is, and both the gates are tied together. Apply the a fixed voltage VB. Fixed voltage VB. Then this is the plus minus VDD is connected to like this. VDD. Okay. This is the source. Yeah. This is the body. Body should be connected like this. This circuit will be used. This is used for the study of supply variations or supply noise. Supply variations are supply noise. So this is the all about complementary stage CS amplifier, or you can say what is that one? Active load CS stage amplifier. Active load CS stage amplifier. Okay. The next one is triode load. CS stays with triode load. What is called the triode load? So keep a device as the load, which should be operated in the triode region. Earlier, we keep one device as the load that is operating in the saturation. That is called the CS stays with current source load. Now CS stays with the triode load. So here keep the one device, okay, which must be keep in the what? Triode region of operation. Okay, so now a MOS device operating in deep triode region behaves as a resistor, we know. Okay, whenever deep triode region. What is the deep triode region? What is it one? Condition? Condition is, so your VDS should be far less than 2 times the VGS minus VTH. This is the deep triode region. So our deep triode region is nothing but what? Nothing but early stage of the characteristics. So when you find the characteristics like this, so this is the deep triode region. This is the, so where mostly the device characteristics are linear. Mostly the device characteristics are linear. That is the deep triode region. So when you consider the deep triode region, okay, I think you know the condition. So a MOS device operating in the deep triode region behaves as a resistor. Yeah. So variable resistor, there is no constant value, whose resistance value is controlled by the gate voltage of the device and can be therefore serve as the load in CS states. Circuit biased at the gate of M2 at a sufficiently low level, ensuring that the load is in the deep triode region for all the output voltage swings. So I know we already calculated in the earlier module, whenever the device is working in the deep triode region, the resistance offered by the device is, you can say R0 or R on resistance. So this is the formula for that. Here M2, I am talking about M2. M2 is my PMOS load. Here M2 is nothing but my PMOS load. So for PMOS load, whenever the PMOS load is working in the deep triode region, then on resistance of the device is equal to 1 by UP CYX W by L2. This is okay. So VDD minus VB minus VTHP modulus. So this is the, so here small change. So that is the W2 second transistor. We are talking about the second transistor. That means M2. So that all must be 2. VDD minus VB. So this VB is the supply applied to the gate. Supply applied to the gate. To the gate. For what purpose? Gate of M2. For what purpose? To keep the M2, to keep M2 in deep triode region. Deep triode region. That's it. Okay. So whenever the M2 load device is working in the deep triode region, then amount of the resistance offered by that device is equal to this one formula. This formula already we derived in the first module. Yeah, this is the NMOS device. This is the PMOS device. This is the load. For the PMOS device, VB is applied. What is the value of the VB is nothing but, so the amount of the VB is in such a way that the device should be working in the deep triode region. That's it. So whenever this device is working in the deep triode region, this entire device can be replaced with like this. So equivalent resistances are on 2. That is. So then I think you understood that. So the same circuit earlier, the earlier means what? Constant current source. Okay, or current source load. Then this is what? This is the VB. So at that moment of time, this VB is VB is equal to the voltage required to keep this transistor in the saturation mode. Now this VB is equal to the device to be keep the the VB volt is the voltage which is equivalent to the keep this device in the deep triode region. That is the difference. So whenever it is working in the deep triode region, definitely it is replaced with a resistor. Okay, variable resistor, of course. So this is I hope you understand both the things. So R on 2, that means on resistance of the M2 depends on, see in this from this equation I'm talking about, from this equation, this R on 2 is equal to depends on the mu p, what? Mobility of the holes, COX and VB and VTHP. So these are the values. It depends on all these values. Okay, and they are varying with process and temperature. All these parameters are, so depends on the process and temperature, PVT again. So whenever the process is changing, these values will change, the resistance value changes. Whenever the temperature changes, so these values will change. Correspondingly, there is a resistance change. So this is the thing. Triode loads consumes less voltage headroom than the diode connected because V out max. So what is the maximum voltage here is equal to VDD. Whereas in diode connected load, the maximum output voltage is equal to VDD minus what? Threshold voltage of the device. So that this is called the headroom. Voltage headroom means, so what is the amount of voltage we are using more? Okay, the voltage headroom of this CS stage with diode load is small compared to the what? Diode connected load. So I think, so you can see these two conditions. So the output maximum at the diode connected load is VDD, whereas in the diode connected load is VDD minus threshold voltage of the device. But here in the triode load, it is is approximately equal to the VDD. So we want to choose this one. We want this one, not this one, because here voltage is output voltage will decrease. Okay, that is called the voltage swing limit. But here there is no voltage swing limitation. So among the 5 CS variants studied above, what are the 5 variants? One is the CS with the RD. Okay, CS with diode connected load and CS with what? Active load. So CS with current source load, and this one is CS with triode load. Five different circuits. One is the with OD load, diode connected load, active load, current source load, and triode load. Out of these 5 categories, okay, so those employed resistive, current source, active load. So resistive load, current source load, active load. Generally, they will use than the other 2. So they will more use. These 3 are usually using more than the other 2. Other 2 is what? This triode load, as well as the one more is what? Yes, complementary load or active load. Okay, constant source load. Okay, or diode coupled load. Yeah, diode connected load and this triode load. So the last one of CS stage is, so now CS stage with the current source degeneration. Now source degeneration. In few applications, the non-linear dependency of ID upon the overdrive voltage introduces excessively non-linearity, making it desirable to soften the device characteristics. The non-linear dependency of the ID. non-linear dependency. Suppose the ID value maybe depends on the VGS or input voltage or something. So if you take the ID equation in saturation, there is a scaling terms will be there. So due to the scaling terms, the device characteristics are no longer linear. So the non-linear dependence of the ID upon the overdrive voltage. So what is the relation between the ID and overdrive voltage? So I think ID is equal to suppose 1 by 2. Okay. So mu n CVX W by L into VGS minus VTH whole square. VGS minus VTH whole square. That means ID is proportional to the what? VGS minus VTH whole square. Generally, this term is called the what? So overdrive potential. Overdrive potential. So since your ID depends on this overdrive potential, so not linearly, non-linearly depends on. So due to this one, what happened? Which introduces the excessive non-linearity, making it desirable to soften the device characteristics. So that is the issue. So what to do now? The linear behavior of CS stays using diode connected load, which allows post corrections for the non-linearity. So if already diode connected load is used to make the CS stays or to improve the linearity of the CS stays. Okay, which what we got earlier. So that's why that is the aim of the using of diode connected load. So where we need to do some post corrections for getting the linearity. What is the post corrections? So alternatively, as depicted in the figure, this can be accomplished by placing a degeneration resistor in series with the source terminal so as to make the input device more linear. Yes. So in the diode connected load, we need to do the post corrections. Okay, that becomes the what? So CS stays with the source degeneration. So CS stays with the source degeneration. So what is the aim? To improve the more linearities. So whatever the linearity obtained in the diode connected load is not enough. So that we need to improve that. So after that one, okay. So that is called the diode source degeneration. So okay, we'll see. This is the. So suppose if you forget about this fellow, this is looking like a what? CS stays with RD load or resistive load. Okay. So now for that first configuration, so we added the source resistance between the ground and source. This is the source, you can say this is the ground. Between that there is a RS is added. This RS, addition of this RS for the circuit is known as the source degeneration. Now we will see how the source degeneration will work out. The equivalent circuit of the source small signal of the, so for the small signal analysis, the equivalent circuit of this circuit is, this entire circuit is simply what? There is a source, gate and drain. Okay. So you know about this top one, you know this top one. If this is not there, it is grounded here. But since the RS is there, so in between the source and ground, you should connect the RS value. That is the only the difference. So this circuit is very simple. Okay, as you seen, but you can understand that inside the circuit, why it is simple means because we are not considering any body effect or channel length modulation. If you consider both the terms, again, you will get the two more branches in the output side. Okay. So neglect the channel length modulation and body effect here as Vin increases. So do ID and voltage drop across RS. Okay. So whenever this is circuit is, you know, that simplified version. Okay. So when Vn increases, input voltage increases, whenever the input voltage increases, what happened? Yeah. So input voltage increases, ID increases. Thereby voltage drop across RD increases because of this input increases, this current in the circuit also increases, the drop across RS also increases. What happened due to this? We'll see. This is a fraction of the change in input voltage appear across the change across the resistor. Okay. at the gate and gate source overdrive, thus leading a smooth variation in the ID. So once again, I am going to discuss with you whenever input voltage increases. Otherwise, you can write an equation like this, or you can write an equation like this. So then what? V in, okay, minus 2 plus V in, plus 2 minus V1, okay, and current is flowing like plus 2 minus RS into, what is the current is flowing in this one? So ID current, so ID. So you can write V in is equal to V1 plus RS into ID. So whenever there is a V in increases, ID is increases, and drop across this fellow is increases. So from this you can say V1 increases in the changes in the V in appears across the resistor RS. So I don't know whether you remember or not. Otherwise, you can recall from your, so UZ, there is a one circuit is there. What is that one? Self-biasing circuit. Self-biasing circuit. In self-biasing circuit or self-biasing circuit or CE amplifier with empty resistance. CE amplifier with empty resistance. CE amplifier with empty resistance. So emitter resistance. So it is looking like that. This is the CE amplifier, of course, CS amplifier common to CS is common to both sides, and with empty resistance. So CS resistance. So where empty resistance is working, so I think CE amplifier with empty resistance is working as in what manner? So is there any changes in the input voltage? The corresponding changes appears across the empty resistance. Thereby, ID will change. That means linearly changes. So same thing you can apply here. So in this, from this equation, whenever the input changes, any changes, the corresponding changes will appear across RS. The corresponding changes appear across the RS will change the corresponding changes in the ID. That is the what? CS stays with the source degeneration. Okay. From another perspective, it is make the gain equivalent to weaker function of GM. Weaker function of GM. So how? Means, so from this equation, so what is that equation? So already you can see this circuit. So this circuit, what is the V out? V out. So VDD minus, so this drop. What is this drop? ID into R. That is the V0 expression. Okay. So take this equation. Yeah, take this equation. So V out is equal to V out is equal to, so VDD minus ID into RD. Okay. So now differentiate this equation with respect to the V in, then dou V out by dou V in is equal, this is 0 minus, I can write this as dou ID by dou V in, dou ID by dou V in into RD, because this is a constant. Okay, but ID is not constant. So that now I can write capital GM. This is the first time I am introducing here, capital GM. Okay, so small GM more than that, that means small GM is the transconductance of the device. Capital GM is the overall transconductance of the circuit. So GM is equal to dou ID by dou V in. You can say like this, dou V in. This is the, you can write capital GM. And your ID is definitely function of the input voltage VGS. From these two, I can write your GM value is equal to, capital GM is equal to, so dou ID by dou V in, I can write as is equal, I can write as dou F by dou VGS is multiplied with dou VGS by dou V in. Dou V in. Yes. Okay. GM is equal to, finally, this is GM is equal to. Okay. Capital GM, not small gm. Okay. Now, so I can write VGS is equal to gate to source voltage is equal to input voltage V in minus RS into ID. This is also from the circuit. Gate to source voltage of the NMOS device is equal to V input voltage minus RS into ID. Okay. So now differentiate this expression with the VGS dou V in is equal to, okay, 1 minus, this is 1 minus RS is multiplied with dou ID by dou V in. This is V in. Okay. So now, now you can write GM is equal to capital GM. This is from this. Capital GM is equal to, what is this one? Dou VGS by dou V in, here is there. So 1 minus RS is multiplied with dou ID by dou V in is multiplied with the, what is the other factor? Dou F by dou VGS. So dou F by dou VGS. Okay. So that is, this is the GM value. So from this, you can write the conductance GM is equal to, capital GM is equal to, or minus GM is equal to, you can write, so GM by 1 plus GM into RS. This is, say, let us say this is the expression X. Minus GM is equal to, from this you can say minus GM is equal to, so GM by 1 plus GM into RS. So small GM is the transconductance of the device. Okay. So this is the in terms of conductance of the M1. Therefore, small signal gain. What is the small signal gain formula? General formula. Small signal gain formula. Gain. So AV is equal to minus GM into RT. This is the formula. What is the GM now here? This is the GM now here. So you can write this as here minus capital GM into RD. So in place of minus capital GM, you can write this one. What is that one? So minus small GM by, so 1 plus GM into RS multiplied with the RD. This is the small signal gain of voltage gain of the device. So from this expression, okay, so from this is remember this one, this equation. So minus GM into RD by 1 plus GM into RS. Okay, so remember this one. Yes, next one. Yeah, everything already derived. Okay, yes. Okay, yeah, last final is, this is the GM is equal to GM into 1 plus GM into RS. Okay, this is taken. So later you can go to this one. Yes, final one. This is the small signal. The same result can be derived using the small signal model as shown in the figure. What is small signal model? This is small signal model. Yeah, this is small signal model. From this also you can use the same thing. You can do the same thing. Okay, we'll see. We will derive like here. What is that one here? So V in, this is the V in. Write the equation. So KVL, V in is equal to V1 plus what? RS into ID. ID into RS. KVL to this loop. Okay. So as we know, ID is equal to GM into V1. So ID is equal to, what is that one? So GM into V1, this is the ID. ID is nothing but, this is the ID. So this current and this current is same. So that GM into ID. So I can write V1 into, sorry, V1, yeah, plus V1 plus What is the ID? GM into V1, GM into V1 into RS. Okay, so therefore you can write this equation. This equation, okay. Otherwise, keep this equation as it is, V1 plus GM into V1 into RS. Keep this equation. So from this equation, you can see one thing. We know one equation, that is a capital GM is equal to small gm by 1 plus GM into RS. Okay, here this equation. This is this equation. This is X I told you. So from this equation, there is a term RS is there. Term RS is there. Yeah, this is the term RS. This resistance we are calling as a degeneration resistance. Suppose if you see the RS value 0 and non-equal to non-zero values. Okay. So from this expression, you can understand if RS value is increases, if RS is increases, I can write here, if RS is increases, your corresponding GM will decrease. Okay. So means GM decrease means what? It is a weaker function of the GM, small gm. So that is weaker function of small gm. Okay. So, and hence the drain current. Okay. And drain current, ID. That is the one thing. And one more thing. Suppose you use RS is far greater than 1 by GM. RS is far greater than 1 by GM. This equation I can write as approximation. So 1 can be negligible here. Then GM get cancelled. Then, so your capital GM is approximately equal to 1 by RS only. 1 by RS only. So what it means? So there is a change in ID. Okay, is approximately equal to, change in ID is approximately equal to change in V in minus by, so RS, that's it. So from this equation, you can say, what is the type? So earlier I told you what? So small or any changes in the input voltage are directly appear across the resistance RS. Thereby the corresponding changes in the current will take place. So now your current ID is linear function of the input voltage. Linear function of the input voltage. So that is, you understood from this one. Okay. So now yes. Yes. Yeah. This is the small signal model. This is the, so including the body bias as well as what is that one? Body bias and the, what is that one? Channel length modulation. Channel length modulation. The same circuit. So, but earlier these two are not there. These two are omitted because of most simplified form. Now these two are added. So if these are added, then what happened with body bias and channel length modulation? So you can write here V1 is equal to R, the current through the RS. So RS is what? Yeah, this is the, so this is the current. I now I out is appearing here. So the same current is emerging from this one. So that the current to the RS is same thing, I out. So the current through RS is equal to I out. Yes. So now V in, write the KVL expression. From the KVL expression for the input loop, V in is equal to, so V1 plus drop across this fellow. What is that one? So current into resistance. What is the current? I out. So I out is multiplied with RS. RS. At the node X, this is the node. This is the node. At the X, write the KCL expression. At node X, KCL, Kirchhoff current law, KCL. So means this current is equal to sum of these three currents. because this is open circuit, no current. So that you can write, so I out is equal to, okay. So this current is GM into V1, and this current is equal to, so GMB into VBS, and this current is equal to, here voltage drop is this much. What? Vx is equal to Rs into I out, okay, by R0, but minus will take. So minus the drop across this fellow is how much? I out into Rs by, how can you make it current? This is the voltage divided with the R0 value. That is equal to, you can write in place of VBS, is nothing but same voltage, so that I can write this as Vx. I can write the Vx. So Vx means what? Same thing, I out minus this one. So that GM V1 plus GMB or minus will take here. So GMB, VBS is nothing but I out into Rs. Okay. So this is the GMB minus I out into Rs by R0. Okay. So here, what is the Vin? Vn is nothing but, here already is there. Vn is nothing but V1. So from this equation, V1 is equal to Vin minus I out by I out into Rs. You can substitute this one in place of V1. Then that is equal to, you can write GM into Vin minus I out into Rs, bracket close, minus, so GMB into GMB minus GMB into, so I out into Rs, last component is I out into Rs by R0. This is, so from this you can write, from the last equation you can write, yes, GM is equal to, capital GM is equal to, what is the capital GM formula? I out by, yes, V in. You can take the common from the last expression. So then you will get the GM R0, So by Rs is multiplied, sorry, Rs plus, so 1 plus GM plus GMB into Rs, total term is multiplied with the R0. This is the what? Your capital GM equation in term, including the channel length modulation as well as channel modulation and the body effect. See, here is, take the common. So this is our I output equation, I out. Okay. So take the I out terms, separate one side, and V input terms another side. Okay. Separate the I out terms and V in terms. Then take the ratio of I out to V in. Then finally you will get this one. This one. Okay.
Sir,
Yes.
ఒక్కసారి previous slide derivation ones. ఒక్కసారి.
Very simple equation, simple derivation.
Yes.
First, understand from the circuit, this output current and current to the Rs both are same because it's open circuited. All these three currents equal to this one. The same current is flowing in the Rs also. So that is the first assumption. Second one is, write the KVL expression for the input loop. Vin is equal to V1 plus drop across Rs. That is second one. So from this, what we can write? So we can, from this equation, we can write the, what is the V1 to substitute later. So that is the V1 is equal to Vin minus I out into Rs. Now your job is write the KCL expression at the X, node X. What is the node X voltage? So let us say Vx. What is the Vx value? Vx voltage, Vx value is nothing but the voltage drop across Rs. What is the voltage drop across Rs? Minus I out into Rs. Minus I out into Rs. That is the voltage drop across Rs. That is called the Vx. Or so now this is the current. You can write this current directly. This is the current. You can write directly. You can write this current. This current is what? Minus Vx by R naught. What is the minus Vx? Minus Vx is nothing but voltage drop across Rs. What is the voltage drop across Rs? I out into Rs. So that minus get cancelled. That it becomes the plus. Okay, that is the this term. What is the VBS? Voltage drop across the what? This is the body and this is the source. Same voltage once again. Same voltage across the Rs. VBS means so voltage drop across source and body. Body is grounded, source is connected to the X. So that the three terms you got here and substitute the V1 value from this equation and VBS value as a set. So same drop across what Rs. So that substitute here, same thing. And third, then you can separate the I out terms and input terms, because the final job is find the capital GM of the circuit, including this body and what? Channel length modulation. Earlier, whatever the GM equation, we derived a very simple equation, that is the minus GM is equal to GM by 1 plus GM into Rs. That is simple equation. But that equation is not included with the body effect and channel length modulation. Now we included the body effect and channel length modulation. So therefore you got 1 minute. So GM is equal to finally, so small GM into R naught by Rs plus, okay. So 1 plus GMB into Rs, that overall factor is multiplied with the R naught. Okay. So now large signal behavior of CS stays with and without Rs. If you take, suppose if Rs is equal to 0, for this take the simple equation, that is what? Your GM equation in terms of the small gm. So okay, then so if Rs is equal to 0, then yeah, without in the first module we already derived. This is the ID. This is the input voltage. Then you will get like this. Okay, you will get like this. So and your ID transconductance small gm. So with respect to the input voltage, you can get like this. VTH here. So whenever Rs is not equal to 0, now Rs is presented here. So in degeneration, source degeneration circuit, Rs is there. So now your characteristics, these characteristics, two characteristics will be improved. So and will get the more linearity. How means I will show you. Yes. Okay. This characteristic will improve ID versus V in. See, you are getting like this, more linear. So and the slope of this fellow is approximately equal to 1 by Rs. This is the VTH. Okay, and this characteristic will be improved like this. It's the GM, and this is the V in, and this is like this, and this is equal to 1 by Rs. 1 by Rs. This will start from the VTH. So here the linearity will be more and than the earlier, because at low current levels, you were already I told you. So 1 by GM value is far greater than the Rs value. Hence, so capital GM and small gm both are. This is the low currents. This is the low current regions. Low currents. Okay. So as overdrive and GM values increases, overdrive and GM values. What is the overdrive? VGS minus VTH. So that's why VGS minus VTH and GM values increases. The effect of the degeneration circuit. Okay, the effect of the degeneration becomes 1 plus GM into Rs. Effect this is. Okay, so in more significant, you can write for large values of V in, okay, for large values of V in, ID is linear function of, so VM, V in, and so GM is equal to 1 by RS. This is. So finally, my conclusion is my ID, my current equation is linear function of input voltage and capital GM. That is my requirement. Finally, I need to conclude. So I need more linearity. So directly depends on that. There is no scaling terms or square roots. Okay. So this is, I hope you understand. And moreover, one more thing is there here. Yes. Yes. Okay. And one more thing. I will erase this all these things. So already you know AV is equal to minus GM by 1 plus GM into RS. Okay. RS is multiplied, very simple formula, into RD. This we got simplified. Okay. So I can write this equation like minus RD by 1 by GM plus RS. Yeah. So numerator and denominator divided with the GM simply. Okay. So this is the denominator term. From the denominator term, what we can understand? Denominator term, it is nothing but simply, this is the resistance, of course. Okay. So it is nothing but 1 by GM plus RS means the resistance seen from the source side is equal to series combination of the GM and RS. GM and RS. So means you can write like this. This is the yes, NMOS transistor, the M1 transistor, that is NMOS. For that already RS is connected. Now open this. This is the RS. Generally, this is the here you will get the GM value and make it ground. For doing of this one, make it ground. Then, so from, if you see this side, what is that one? This and this both are series. That is equal to RS plus 1 by GM. 1 by GM. This is the bottom term. Okay. So disconnect the bottom terminal of RS from the ground and calculate the resistance. Okay. So from the circuit, I am explaining. Disconnect this RS from the ground. Generally, ground is earlier, ground is there. Now disconnect from the ground. Okay. So then same looking up the setup input is 0. This is the input is 0. Okay. So then we can obtain the resistance is RS plus 1 by GM. That is the denominator. Whatever the numerator term, numerator means the what? From the drain, the resistance. From the numerator, the equation is the resistance seen from the drain terminal. So this is the significance value. Okay. This is the source, common source test with degeneration, source degeneration. So this is the all CS amplifiers, CS stages, all are the single stage amplifiers only. So single stage amplifiers, CS stage with the resistance load, diode connected load, and current source load, and active load, and triode load, and now degeneration source load. This is, so all the things are over. Next source follower, we'll go for the next next class, source follower. So any doubts? Yeah, I'm talking about doubts.
No, sir.
Okay.
No, sir.
Yeah, then I will stop here. So students, UG students, do you have any doubts?
Sir.
Hello? Okay.
No doubts.
Yes.
On chat box, no doubt, sir.
Okay. So may I stop here? Hello, students.
Sir,
Okay, then-
what is the next topic you're saying? Sir, source follower, no, sir?
Source follower and cascoding.
Ah,
Okay, then I will stop because everybody is very hungry. Hmm?